So, ladies and gentlemen, only a few hours until we kick off against AEK Larnaca, or as I think it's pronounced, ICA. That's what actually people from Larnaca call it, ICA.
From
So
Cyprus.
there we go. The Cypriots, they call it ICA. But anyway, 5:45 kickoff UK. Do not forget. I keep remembering trying to remind myself, it's not an evening kickoff yet. It's a 5:45 kickoff. We'll be doing all the live from about 5 o'clock ish, bringing you team news ish as and when. But you want to make sure that you know when we're on by hitting the bell notification, so you know exactly when we come on.
Do it.
Just do it earlier. Just do it.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Do you know what? There's been 1,000 of you that have done it in the last month.
Mental. Yeah, it's mental. We hit 15,000 subscribers earlier this week. It's gone crazy the last month, particularly, isn't it? So thank you for your patronage.
Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias. I don't know what it is in Greek. Anyway, I could do it in French.
Anywho.
Yeah, anyhow. Anyway, today it's the our predicted 11s. It's going to be a bit of a come on your irons. It's going to be an interesting one, I think. Today we've got a few of the West Ham Network group giving us their predictions as well in terms of their 11s, because I think it's so unpredictable, really, isn't it, mate? Really,
it's really unpredictable. Like, you think maybe after the Nottingham Forest game, you would have maybe got a little bit more of an insight into it. Manchester United, again, maybe a little bit more insight going into the Brighton game. Brighton game was a disaster, and now you kind of have no idea really where we're going to go. This could go anyway, so it's going to be fun, exciting, and probably wrong. And probably what we do, just do the opposite, and then it might be right. So,
yeah.
But either way, as I said yesterday morning, go hard or go home. There is absolutely, we need a reaction. We need that reaction to continue. If we get a reaction tonight, we need that reaction to continue into Aston Villa. 100 gazillion %.
And with Villa in mind, obviously there's two schools of thought. There's one is consistency, but the other school of thought is actually there's a lot of players who could do with some minutes, and actually is it back to what we did during the group stages where it was almost two sides? Was it? You had your conference side, and then you had your league side, or your sort of cup/conference side, and then you had your league side. For me, I think in some positions it's impossible because we've only got one fit player in that position. But for others, I think there is an opportunity to get people who have come back from injury some minutes. The team news as we have it, as revealed yesterday by Moisey. Antonio's travelled, basically. Maxi Cornet, and again, I didn't spell check this. He's not brining Maxi Cornet. He's not putting him in a bath of salt water to make him tender. Well, that might actually probably be quite good for his knee. But he's Maxi's travelled, Cornet's travelled, but he doesn't think he's ready to play. So why risk him on a flight? I don't know. Anyway, he reckons he'll be back after the international break. So basically, after we've got Larnaca, then we've got Aston Villa, then we've got Larnaca next Thursday at home at London Stadium, and then that's it until the 2nd of April because we have the international break. So that's what he's assuming there. Angelo,
again on that one, Russ. Though, like Moyes, I can't remember if he did a lot of smoke and mirrors for the Brighton press conference. I'm trying to remember. I don't think he did, essentially. But with the Maxi Cornet thing, like, okay, he's been out for such a long time, but depends on the result against Larnaca tonight. Would depend on what happens on the second leg. And that's what's going to make for interesting reading, because there's a really good opportunity now. There's a great opportunity to try and, like, again, respect the opposition. I get that. But if we can kill this tie as much as we possibly can tonight, kill it, like, make it done, then we've got such a good opportunity, mate, going into Thursday next week to really fluctuate, to really give players run out that is needed, to give Anang a run out because he's going to be our backup keeper for a little while, to give these players a chance to shine. But the only way you do that, mate, is if you smash this team.
Totally.
And I'm expecting a reaction.
Well,
expecting a reaction.
We are hoping. In terms of the rest of it, he's basically said Angelo Bonner. He had a menial ligament injury, and so he'll be back. Sufar definitely won't. He hasn't travelled by all accounts. Tilo Kira's recovered from his illness, but he spoke about rotation. He spoke about rotation as well in the press conference, and basically he said he tried to give the younger players some opportunities in the earlier games, but knockout stages not so much. If the result doesn't go so well.
Yeah.
So that's basically what you're alluding to. The fact is we do it. So the idea is if we could kill off the game in the first leg, it does give the opportunities of the likes of, as you said, Joseph Anang and Barmer. Not Ollie Scars because he's still recovering from his knock, but Clayton, Casey, a few of these boys as well, with the likes of Lanzini's and people in this world, giving them, and then giving, in essence, the first team, and even longer rest because Villa would be the last game and they would be playing again in the Premier League until the 2nd of April.
Yeah.
So
and utilize the squad where necessary, for whatever they need to do. But I get it. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, totally. So with that in mind, let's crack on like Donkey Kong. Let's get the old team sheet up as per usual. As I said, as per usual, me and Anton basically make a complete pig's ear of this. If I put the right one in, there we go. And we get it totally wrong. So let's start off in goal.
Areola.
As you said, it was quite interesting. We did the news at 10 yesterday, and they had Christian Heggie did an interview with, I imagine it's the Hungarian sports channel, saying he was looking to go out on loan next year. He'd seen the likes of Anang go out on loan and Jason and Nathan Trott, and he knows he's sort of fourth choice really at the moment.
Well, do you know what? Fair play to Anang. I said this to you last week, and I remember him signing the contract when he came back, and I thought to myself, do you know what? Fair play. He's sticking around because he sees an opportunity. The opportunity is that even if Fabianski didn't get injured, come the summer, if we rely on Areola as our number one goalkeeper, then Anang catapults himself into number two, unless we sign a keeper. In theory. But an injury, we were an injury away from Anang being number two. So he's done well to, he's now got himself in contention, Russ. And that's all you want for a young player. I was watching something today on Buffon. Like, started his professional career at 17 for, was it Parma?
Parma, yeah.
Yeah, and he's now back playing at Parma, like the club that he started from. So it's amazing to see that these players can start so early. So I love the fact that Anang's there. Anyway, I'm digressing, and we are going for Areola.
And actually, don't forget Nathan Trott will be back as well.
Yeah,
when he back in the summer. So from his loan spell, I think they released Kinnear though, the guy they got from Rangers by all accounts. Anyway, so back three or back four? Four. Obviously, he does tend to do the three for Europe.
For Europe he does.
But do you think he will though? I don't think
he does. No, he does. I mean, listen. People think that. How do you look at it? Do you look at a back three as defensive, or do you look at that like West Ham are going to go at the channels? Because if you go with a back three, you're looking at West Ham attacking those channels with the likes of Emerson and whoever's fit playing in the right back. And we'll discuss that in a minute. But when you go with a four, it means you're putting top heavy, more top heavy ability. But you can be top heavy with a three at the back anyway. So you know what? He could go with a three and really push those two wing backs quite far up the field. Again, having the faith and the competence in the fact that they are playing against a team in the Cypriot League, again, with respect of the opposition, but equally, we do need to remember, I think they're not in a great form either. They've only won 2 in 8 games in Europe this season.
In Europe they have, but obviously they're still, in their club form, they're second in the Cypriot League. So, I think looking at the fact is, this is the thing, because for me, there's a balancing act now, because you've got Villa on Sunday, and regardless of how if Moyes in it to win it for the conference, he's going to have Villa on his peripherals for Sunday. So I almost think he's going to play a side that's maybe 20% of them are going to be playing in the Villa game, and everyone else is going to be on the bench. He can
By
name 12 subs.
20%, then really you're talking about 3 players. Really,
Yeah, and I think if that, to be
I
honest, if
think there
that,
might be a few more.
I don't know. See, that's the thing. That's the
Is
interesting
it?
thing. For me, I would try. Basically, I would fill this team. I mean, I know the the head and heart. The heart would suggest just go for it and go all out, balls out, and just smash it and try and smash them. But the head bit thinks, well, actually, what's the? I'm worried about the Villa game as well. So it's like I would, for me, it'd be people like I don't see, for me, I wouldn't necessarily see Declan Rice starting.
I think he's starting.
But I think you say he starts,
Yeah.
so I know you'll say he starts.
No, but I think he will start because I think that this game probably, in theory, could become not more important, but this is the reaction game. This is the game that we in theory you would probably want the Aston Villa game now. In theory, on paper, because you want that reaction. You've heard what Moyes has said. You've seen the reaction of the players. So this is where you want the reaction. This could be a complete disaster, tactical disaster by West Ham tonight, or a complete onslaught. Like I'm in a nice possible way. I'm expecting a bit of an onslaught in a nice possible way. I'm trying my best not to be a dick about it, going, it's only AEK Larnaca and they play the Cypriot League and blah blah blah.
But to be honest,
you know,
we should be beating this side.
We should be beating this side based upon the players we've got, the way that we have even been playing this season when we've been playing well, and we are creating shitloads of chances. So let's put that ball in the back of the net. What a good opportunity going into the Aston Villa game to prove we can do a job. We might come away from this game, if we do win it, comfortably, feeling confident. But that's what you want. I get it. We might get brought back down to the real world again come Aston Villa, but we need to go into the Aston Villa game feeling confident. And currently, we're not, because we have a shit game against Brighton. So what a way to react. Go to Larnaca, get the job done. I think I agree with you to a certain extent, but I think 50% of the team will be what we wouldn't
I mean,
expect.
the fact is, literally, I think everyone apart from Cornet has travelled.
Yeah.
Not Cornet, everyone apart from Soufal has travelled. So we've seen Danny Ings on the plane. We've seen Declan Rice on. They got on. We saw Cornet. We've seen Zuma. We've seen Areola. We've seen basically by all accounts, the only people who haven't flown is basically the injured people. The thing we know who are injured, and that being Mr. Vladimir Soufal. Really, and you're right. You're totally right. It's a long flight, really. It's not like a little 2 hour. It's like a 4 or 5 hour flight, and it's to Larnaca, I think. So it's not, so actually that will take players. They've flown this morning, yesterday afternoon, and they won't get back until late. So if there was a risk, if they weren't going to play Declan Rice, then why fucking take him? Do you know what I mean? So it's like, if you're not going to take these players, then, if you're not going to have them, so, then risk them on the plane, then why take them? Although Anton's completely frozen. It's either that or he's doing his famous impression of a, hello, I don't know. I don't know where he's gone. He's just gone. Anyway, he'll come back. He'll come back. Anyway, so, all right, let's, on the premise. So what I do is I'll go through what I think is going to be set up, and then when Anton comes back on, wherever the hell he's gone, he's probably just messaged me now to say that he's disappeared. Wait a tick, what's he said? He looks like his computer's completely reset. Yep, his computer's reset. So I'll go through my 11. I'll show some of the others, and then we'll go through, and then Anton will probably give us his 11 as well. So that's what we'll do. So that makes more sense. So let's jump on. Let's share my screen. I'm going to be in the corner. Hello, I'm in the corner. So for me, as I said, I think he'll play 4 at the back. I don't think he'll go for 3 back because I don't think we've got enough players potentially who could play in that position. Maybe actually, I'm probably doing him a disservice, to be honest. But I think they'll go 4 at the back. I think it will start off. I think left back. I think Mr. Cresswell. He was the player in the press conference. Anton just texted me, computer's gone Pete Tong. Sorry. No worries. He was the player in the press conference. So for the UEFA competitions, we have a player and a manager. So he was the player, and obviously David Moyes being the manager, and so he was the sort of the stand-in. Now, to be honest, it was apparently by all accounts, according to John T, it was a Zoom call. It looked like it was they were trying to. Usually, they would do it in Larnaca, but because of the time differences in the flight, they could only have to in a certain period. So actually, he didn't. They did it. I think it was at the airport, and they were all there. So Declan Rice could have done it, who's the captain, but they put Cresswell in. So that's why I don't think Declan's going to start. Anyway, that's my opinion on the right back. I think it's redemption for Mr. Ben Johnson. He had an absolute shocker against Brighton. And for me, he needs some minutes. I think the premise is that obviously Soufal is injured with his heel problem, so I think he comes in and he'll play right back for the game, and then with Vladimir maybe coming into the Aston Villa game. That's what I think. I think you would try and have this. I mean, I think what I think will happen is I'll give my 11. I think Anton will probably give his, and actually it'll be a combination of the two because he'll be going very, very, very positively. I think we're going to keep it a bit more tighter, in all honesty, because we know Moisey. Centre halves. For me, I would play, and he's back from illness. He mentioned he's back from illness. For me, Tilo Kehrer goes in. I'm going to put Tilo Kehrer in, and I'm going to put Angelo Bonner. I'm going to give Agard, and I'm going to give Zuma the night off. Zuma just back from injury, so I think again he'll be earmarked for coming in for the Villa game. I think Agard and Zuma as a pairing for the Villa game. I think that's what will happen with Agbonna and Kehrer basically being the two centre back partners for the game against Larnaca. That will probably change completely, and obviously, the option is you could go to three at the back. You could play Cresswell. You could play Ogbonna and Kehrer as the three, and you could put in Emerson as left wing back, and you could put in Ben Johnson as right wing back. But that's how I think it's going to go in terms of the back four so far. Let's move into midfield. I'm going for the old famous 4-2-3-1. Famous or whatever it is. I personally think that Flynn gets a start. And ideally, I know that. See, I'd put someone like Fornals in. But you're probably right, Anton. I reckon we'll put Deck in. I think it'll probably, I'd have preferred Fornals, not prefer Fornals over Deck as a player, but just in terms of the Aston Villa game coming up again, I don't want any potential of anyone getting injured, but I think Flynn comes in. I think Souček has the night off. I think Paqueta has the night off as well, and I think that would be the two for me. I think that makes sense. I think Flynn deserves a decent run out. Based on the Brighton game, when you looked at his stats with his time he came on, he was actually the best scoring West Ham player with SofaScore, and he was only on for like 15 minutes. Shows how poorly the rest of the side was. In terms of the rest of the side, let's crack on. I think we're going to go with. I think I think Ben Rama comes into the side. I think Benny plays. I think he was. Well, I think no one had a really good game at all, I think. So I think he comes in. I also think this is the game for Manu Lanzini as well. I can see Lanzini coming in and playing in that 10 role. Equally, maybe Declan Rice doesn't come in and Lanzini plays in that role potentially. Now, on the right, I would like this player not to play in terms of Jared. I don't want him to play. Fuck it, let's just do it. It's my team, innit? I want Fornals in there. And the reason being is that reason I said before. I want to have as many players who aren't going to be playing the Aston Villa game playing in this side. Because for me, we've got enough in the squad. We shouldn't have to rely on the first teamers. So not the first teamers, does them a disservice. But the Premier League side, starting 11, needing to come in. Because I don't think we need them. I think there's enough there. So that's what I'll do. That's what I'll do so far. So let me know how you think I'm doing so I like bouncing off Anton, but he's not here today anyway. Up front, for me, it's a no-brainer. He's back from injury. It is Gianluca. Gianluca comes in. Let me just move Manu a little bit down there. There we go. For me, Gianluca comes in, and this is purely now, unlike the others, like the other teams, the other players who I don't want. I want Gianluca to come in, and I want him to play because I want him to play against Villa as well. Ideally, and I've mentioned it before. I think when we get to a situation when we play Aston Villa, I want basically, I'd like rather Danny Ings playing where Skamaka is, and Skamaka playing when Lanzini is on that side. I think that could work really, really nicely. But I think there's enough there. I think there's enough there to win the game. And with the premise of you've got Danny Ings, we know he's travelled. Antonio, we know he's travelled. Now again, Mickey's one of those other players. We could do this. Something we've all been crying out for. We could do that. Could you imagine that? Antonio on the right wing. I can't see it happening myself. It's something we've been calling for ages. But yes, I can't see it happening personally, unfortunately. But that's my 11. Let me know in the comments who you think your 11 is going to be. As I said, we've got some of the West Ham Network friends and family giving us their 11s as well. So have a quick look at there. Let's start with that's my one. Let's start with Rich. There's Rich's 11. He's gone with a back four. Obviously, didn't know that Soufal was injured, but he's gone hard. He's gone Emerson. He's pretty much gone. Well, he's gone Emerson, Ogbonna, Eged, and Soufal. That'll be Ben Johnson, I imagine. He's gone for Downs and Rice in the middle as well. Then he's gone for a three of Ben Rama, Lanzini, Bowen, and Gianluca up front. So that's what Rich has gone with. Who else have we got? I think we've got Cess. We haven't seen Cess for a while. There's Cess's 11. He's gone for back four, Emerson, Eged, Ogbonna, and Johnson, although it would be Ogbonna playing the left-hand side and Aguirre playing the right. He's gone for Downs and Fornals. He's given Rice the night off, but he hasn't given Paqueta the night off. Paqueta, he's gone for Ben Rama on the right, Cornet on the left, and Skamaka up front. That would be a very tasty front three or front four, I'd suggest. Let's have a look who else we've got. I think we've got West Ham Faithful, one of our subscribers. He's gone for a back four of Johnson on the left back position, Ogbonna, the returning Zuma, and Tilo Kira right back. And he's given Rice the night off as well. He's gone for Fornals and Downs in the middle. He's gone for Ben Rama. He's gone for Lanzini at 10 and Bowen on the right and Skamaka up front. It seems Skamaka up front is pretty much what everyone wants. And Lanzini at 10 is pretty popular. Sturtle, he's given us a back four of Emerson, Naif Aguirre, Tilo Kira, Ben Johnson. He's gone with Downs and Rice as the two. He's gone big. He's gone Bowen on the right. He's gone for Pablo Fornals on the left. Lucas Paqueta in the middle, and he's gone for Skamaka up front. So he's gone for a very strong side. And we've got Budgie. Budgie's gone for three at the back. Obviously, Johnson will probably play Soufal in this one, but he's gone for Agad, Zuma, and Johnson, and maybe Tilo Kira could be the right wing back or vice versa. No, he's put Tilo Kira left wing back. Okay, so there'll be some changes there for that side. He's gone for Paqueta and Rice in the middle. He's gone for Ben Rama. He's gone for Bowen, and he's gone for Skamaka up front. So that's quite a strong side. But let me know in the comments what your 11 is, what your starting 11 is. And as I said, we'll be giving you the team news as soon as we get it today. We'll be live from 5 o'clock-ish, maybe a bit earlier. So the only way you can make sure you don't miss us is by subscribing to the channel, hitting the like button, but most importantly, hitting the notification bell and selecting all. There's 4 options apparently. Select all, and yeah, that's it. No, Anton, I could just pick my 11 without moaning at me. Anyway, if you're new around here, thanks for joining us. We'll be doing all the watch-alongs and the review show afterwards, and the ratings on Friday, and then after tonight, it's all roads to Aston Villa on Sunday at the London Stadium. So take care, stay safe, stay warm, stay humble, keep the faith, my friends. Come on, you irons. And we'll see you guys very, very soon. Ta-ta for now. Bye-bye.